practices like this, self-care, self-love, self-touch, contact, support, are most useful and most important to maintain when we're not feeling like it. In those times when we don't feel like taking care of ourselves, when we feel low energy, when we think, or maybe because you feel great and you say, I don't need anything, I'm great, I'm good, is probably when we need them the most. When we have to really zoom in to wonder, what is it that we need? What is it that I can feel supported by today? Or maintain, if it's a practice that keeps you, say, out of pain or in flexibility or in connection. And sometimes when we feel great and everything is good, we let them go. And sometimes when we are in a lower frequency or depressed, you would say, right? Not fully in our joy, we don't have enough energy for that today. And it could be the one thing that gets you perhaps through a hard time. I want to welcome those that are here for the first time. My name is Diana. I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner, I'm a fitness trainer, and more importantly, I'm a human mother of two that work with a lot of people in my healing practice. So I think that kind of sets me as a person that is giving often, that is in a position of sharing and supporting. And I identify that there's areas where our body is literally thirsty for support. Both because I see it in my clients, I have a healing practice for the last 12 years. Professionally, I see the main areas where people hold tension. And throughout this year, I started sharing practices that I have for myself to release my own tension, which tends to hold in the similar areas as the ones I see in my clients. And today there's more lessons like this. You can see them on my YouTube page, channel, but there's a main area that I want to emphasize today, which is the jaw. And mainly I will explain it from a gravitational point of view, because that's my Feldenkrais training. You will understand why we tend to hold tension on the jaw from that point of view. The effect of gravity is compressing on our skeleton, is pushing down, and anything that we do to avoid falling on the ground, right, collapsing, sliding on the floor, it's designed that way, except the lower jaw. So think about that for a moment. The lower jaw, which is this lovely huge bone that we use to chew on food, is not designed to move up against gravity as much as we hold it. Think about that for a minute. If it wasn't that it's not culturally appropriate, our lower jaw will hang like a monkey. Will hang because gravity will just push it down, right? Like everything else. Our skeleton as a whole is designed to counteract gravity so we can stay on 2 feet. Otherwise we would be on 4 legs. Yeah, but the jaw, except when we are chewing, is not literally designed to be holding up against gravity. It's using a lot of effort here, muscle work, tendon work, ligament work, fascia work. So much so that sometimes we keep that through the night, even if we are then lying down and not in gravity. I mean, we are in gravity, but not standing in gravity. And that's when you see a lot of tightening, clenching, habitual grinding of the teeth and so forth. So without going into too much theory about it, I want you to think that even though gravity is pushing down on you, you can create or allow a little space between the lower jaw and the upper jaw, so you don't feel like you're holding up and lifting the lower jaw or chewing or locking as if you were chewing, because you're not. Once you learn to recognize if you have a little space here or not, and you allow that little space, is a tiny micro space between the upper and the lower jaw that allows your lower teeth to kind of relax and hang, and you will feel that more after the massage. You can keep that throughout the day. It's a halfway point between this and clench, right? It's a halfway place. So begin by recognizing where you are now, and we're going to begin the massage in the jaw because it's the most tender, tense area, and we're going to take it up towards the forehead and down towards the neck, and then we're going to go about the scalp because the scalp is really useful to relax tension, and you could do it really quickly. Meanwhile, the whole face and jaw can take a little longer, maybe 15-20 minutes. So begin by noticing what is the state of your jaw right now. And if you know that you have TMJ or any chronic tension of the jaw because it hurts sometimes, you already know where you are with this. But either way, allow yourself to recognize in this moment so you get used to checking in with yourself every moment before you start. And then invite the possibility that we're gonna massage it and then move it in certain directions that I'll teach you, and that you can create a new place for your jaw to be. Kind of like if you learn how to keep your shoulders wide, then you recognize that place, it feels better, more efficient, and you wanna come back there. So this is not a one-time quick fix or something that you have to wait until you get the massage to experience again if you do this often, but simply a new place for you to be. Okay? Today usually I have some hot oil. Today I have regular coconut oil that I put in this little tin. And the reason for that is because I want to try different ways. I love the hot oil. If you don't know how to do that, go back to my sessions on YouTube and you'll see. What I want to show you, I don't know if you can see this on the screen. Sometimes I show you different oils. I share those links on my website too, of very refined fraction coconut oil, Ayurvedic oil, fancy oils, let's say. Those are my favorites. What happened today is that I realized I didn't have any of that handy because it's in my office. So I took coconut oil that is organic that I use for cooking. And this works just the same. Not as fancy, not as filtered. It's a little milky. I don't know if you could see, but I want to give you options. If you don't have any fancy oil, you have good quality grapeseed oil that you use for cooking, you can use that as well. If you have not very scented olive oil, provided that is good quality and that is food grade, you could put it on your skin. I would just use a smaller amount. And the reason why I share this is because oil has more spreadable quality than lotion. It dries, it takes longer to dry. The lotion may dry really quickly, so then you have to apply more and more and more, and you're saturating your skin with the lotion. While oil, you use a small amount, it takes a long time to absorb and dry, and you can use less of it, and it slides really well. But you don't have to go and get any fancy oil. You can use any oil as long as it's good quality. So I want to show you too, I'm putting a tiny amount on my hands, and I'm making my hands, which are going to be the medium, right, the tool, nice. And I think of oil as connection. This is the connective point between what's going to happen and the tool, right? So now my hands are ready, and I'm going to begin by placing them on my jaw. And if you have a lot of tension, you're going to feel actually when you place your fingers, we can think of this as the first level of touch or skin contact. You're going to feel some sort of work sometimes. You're going to feel the muscle twitching or tight. So simply watching what's there first, witnessing and giving yourself the sense of support. If you have a lot of tension, I recommend you hold the jaw with fingers as if you're playing on an instrument, and hold it up and push even further up towards the upper jaw. Because now you're taking over the work that you do all the time. The work of moving the jaw up away from the floor, and this may relax immediately some muscle work around the area that we're going to massage. And now begin to explore as you hold with the thumbs. So now you're continuing that hold, so the muscle is relaxed. Imagine this is like a machine that has been working hard, but now you're taking over for that. You're picking up all that work with your thumbs. And now use the fingers to look for tender, soft, fatty, muscle type areas. And begin exploring what is there. Don't dig in right away, just explore how soft or tight is it, what's going on there. You can close your eyes. Notice that I have some nice music, and notice that my arms are against my chest. Why is that? Look, I'm not pressing against my chest, I'm just relaxing my arms, so I'm not holding them up away from the body, creating extra tension on the shoulders. I'm keeping my arms as a part of my torso, thumbs holding the jaw, my neck is slightly arched in the back because of the extra work of the jaw being up. And now I'm beginning to explore circular movements. And taking breaths, up and down movements and circular movements. And we begin doing this in the same direction, going all around the area of the lower jaw. I'm going all the way to the ear and up and in a circle. Circular movements are fabulous because they take care of all the surface. If you just go up and down, you're leaving some of the back surface untouched. So when you do a circle, and I'm stopping at the upper cheek, so it's covering the jaw and the cheek, the lower. This is the area that chews and holds the food and works really hard. And now all the way to the edge of the bone. Imagine you can grab the bone. So now we're exploring the second level of touch, which is muscle, and we're soon gonna go into the third level of touch, which is bone. And pressing, now I'm pressing even deeper with my fingers. And down here, you're gonna feel a little bit of tenderness because these are all the attachments of the ligaments and the muscles and the tendons. They attach to the bone down here. So if you slide your hand on the bone now with a little of a deeper touch, you will feel sometimes little tiny, almost feels like stones, but they're not. It's just like a little of adhesion, or you don't even need to worry about how it's called. Just imagine that's like a little knot, like a little place where the tendon, the fascia is kind of like a little harder, and with your movement you can smooth it out. Okay, so now all the way to the edge, and when you feel the edge here is where the lower jaw attaches with the upper jaw, and again hold there and do little circles. Hold the bottom and do little circles with the top. Fingers, first, second finger. And for now I'm doing circles in the same direction. And I'm noticing my breathing, and if I'm holding my breath, I give myself the permission to breathe. So now the movement is complete between holding and then sliding, circles in the cheeks, circles at the connection between upper and lower jaw here. This may be tight for some people, or tender, so if it's tender, don't push really hard, just go gentle. And then also lower jaw attachments up here. Imagine a rubber band connecting the upper and the lower jaw, and when you're chewing, this is happening. So those two places are really working hard. Okay, so now imagine that you smooth it out and give it support. So can you let it hang a little and move it slightly left and right? And you can do it slower or faster, depends. If you do a slow movement and it cracks, don't go so far. Look for a smaller movement that you can do easily without cracking. Kind of reduce the range of motion to avoid cracking and sliding it out of place. It's not about that, it's about making easy and even easier the movement of hanging the jaw. And now you're using your fingers kind of to teach this, and then take the fingers away and see if you can maintain that position and the little left to right movement. And if it feels bigger, lighter, different, then you know you're in the right track, because anytime something you become more aware of it, it feels bigger. Because now your image of it is larger. So now see if you can do circles in opposite directions, and now you're putting fingertips in the cheeks. So now you keep your jaw low and open and relaxed and hanging, so we're building on that. See if you can just do, say, up and down. This looks funny, right? I don't care. Go forward and back, opposite on both cheeks, because now what you're doing, you think of the muscle and fascia as fibers, and we were doing this, we were stretching it, smoothing it, and now we want to loosen it and move it in all directions, and truly just create this sense of ease in all directions. And you can go way lighter with this. You don't have to dig in, because it's more about the soft layers. Why does it exhaust me so much? Maybe you're doing it too fast, or Howard, thank you for the question, maybe you're breathing. Watch your breathing. Maybe you have so much tension there that your body's telling you something, but the idea would be do a little bit and rest. Take your hands off, close your eyes, see how it's feeling. We are applying a Feldenkrais approach, and Feldenkrais is built on alternating movement and rest. Why? Because movement is input to the nervous system. Movement is information. It's just like you programming a computer. And rest is integration. In rest, you get to digest, you get to assimilate, you get to contemplate, you get to let it sink in. So if you move, it's like you're force-feeding yourself. But if you alternate movement and rest, your body will be more able to notice, oh, that feels different. What's going on? And you notice, oh, I tend to clench again, and you relax again, and you have a pause and a moment to recalibrate. Okay? So I would say take more rest. Lee, if it feels too tight, just hold more. Hold even from the top. Recreate what you do all day long, which is this. It's like clamps. I have a hair clip to show you. This is what your jaw does all the time, right? And you're not chewing. This is upper and lower jaw. You're not chewing. You're just holding it as if you were chewing, but you're not. And now we want to create a little movement. You don't have to go all the way, but just enough to create a little space. See if this is a good visual for you, so you can relax the grip. Relax the grip. But if you're too tight, too wound up, begin by holding and supporting. Even lean on a table and hold, and let gravity disappear from the equation. You're doing all the work. And sooner or later, the musculature will begin to get the message that it's okay to relax. Yeah? Why are you burping? That's a great question. Burps, yawns, belly sounds, it's all release, and it's all nervous system regulation. Burping is less usual, but I would hear a lot of belly sounds in my practice when I'm working with people, because we're moving the nervous system from fight or flight, stress hormones, into rest and digest, quieter, more loving and connection hormones, if you want to make it very layman terms. We're going from cortisol and adrenaline and norepinephrine to oxytocin, dopamine, and the other ones. So what you want is to identify these sensations, release of air, movement in the belly, yawning, sense of feeling relaxed, almost sleepy. That's a good sign if you want to reset your nervous system to down regulate, to feel calmer, okay? So no worries about it. It's your digestive system at work. So let's move this up a little, guys, and then I will show you one little trick that you might not be familiar with. So now what do we want to think about is that as we go up, and why do we want to go up? Because the work in lifting against gravity is what we're doing all the time, so we want to support that, and also we want to make our faces look younger, not older, right? So we want to move the lines up and lengthen them. So why do we do that? How do we continue going up? By imagining now the shape of the upper bones. If you've ever seen a skeleton, it's where you see all the teeth, right, and the cheekbones that are really pronounced, moving into the bones of the eyes, which are round, like camera shutters, we're calling orbital. And they're also round like the mouth, right? So we're gonna continue now moving towards the mouth in the direction of the effort. Oh my God, this looks crazy. And then away. So if yours is the tendency to frown a lot, you do that a lot. I don't frown so much here, I frown more up here. So this is where I'm gonna spend most of my personal time, but I wanna demonstrate the movement. If you frown and tighten your lips in addition to the jaw and do the pouty face and do the biting lips and such, you wanna spend a lot of time bringing all that together with your hands with the same idea, support, wait, breathe, move it a little bit in circles, make it easier, and then stretch it. And that's how you personally will feel the most support if that's your pattern, right? Same with the eyes. So as we move up and you wanna move all this extra tension away from the contraction, away from the center, we wanna move it up. Think of your eyes as shutters and take the hand and support. Can you see there? The orbital muscles, support them by squeezing a little bit, which is what we do all day with looking at devices, looking forward, narrowing our vision. So you do both eyes, and I'm gonna show you. Hold the muscle around the eyes with soft fingertips, don't pinch, but hold enough until you feel really comfortable holding, and just breathe. And don't worry about it for a moment. Somebody said, oh, you're making my wrinkles worse. And I'm like, no. What I'm doing is I'm picking up all the slack of all that work you do all the time so you can stop doing the work. And now very slowly, as if you're pulling out curtains, opening curtains slowly, sliding, spread out your fingers and keep your eyes closed and continue. Oh, you can see me if your eyes are closed. Sorry about that. But when you do it yourself, you can keep your eyes closed because there's nothing to do really with eyesight. It's more the muscles around the eyes and spreading. And this will feel really nice. It will feel like you suddenly have clearer vision. Okay? And pull your hands down. Anders has a question. The teeth in the upper and the lower jaw should never be touching except when you're chewing. I would agree with that. Yeah, maybe just slightly in the molars. There's a slight, but not a clench, just a slight connection. In some people, depends on the structure, right? We all have slightly different teeth sizes and such, and even bone structure. But yeah, I would say that if you have space there, like paper thin even, nice. So how does that feel for your eyes? The first time they showed this to me in training, I felt like I had a way bigger face in the front, because instead of the eyes squeezing, the eyes were long. Ah! Did you see that? That was funny. Okay, so now I want to show you, one more movement for the face, for the forehead, and then I show you a trick that I love. And at this point my hands are dry, so I'm gonna lightly put more oil on the fingertips because I don't want to overdo the oil because then your face feels greasy, so just the tips. And I'm gonna do what I do all day personally. I do two things. I smile with my eyes and I create like little bags here. I have a big smile, but I sometimes when I'm thinking or working, I notice I do this, and I know because I have wrinkles there. So now I'll do that a little bit. Two reasons for this. One, same as before, you want to hold the habitual pattern so your musculature can stop doing that. At the brain level, this is called inhibition. So the cells are inhibited by doing this, and when you do it yourself, the cells are free. The brain cells that are typically doing this are free because now it's your hands doing it. If that makes any sense to you. It's a little heady, but that's how it works. Now iron that, smooth that out with your fingertips as if you're clearing all that thinking, worry, whatever that is. And now all the way down. And if you tend to get headaches or worry a lot or your head hurts sometimes, you can do little circles along the temples. Those are other areas, and look, I'm going in the same direction, but I'm going in opposite directions, up and down, and I'm going in different motions because again, it's easier, better. You disrupt a little bit of that symmetrical effort. And all along I'm keeping my jaw soft, my mouth, my tongue, my eyes. So we're building here, we're building layers. We're not suddenly clenching the teeth because we're relaxing the temples, yeah? Makes sense? So now I want to show you, and I'm avoiding the area under the eyes because it's really delicate. So I'm avoiding putting a lot of pressure there, but if you get bags under the eyes, or that's an area where you, like me, smile with your eyes a lot and get those like circles, you can smooth it out. Imagine your fingers are creating this ironing on the face. And I want to show you a trick. I don't know if you guys have this. You could work on your nose as well, though it's all about there just relaxing. And we're going to move into the neck in just a moment. But before I do that, I want to show you a trick that I really love. So I personally love crystals, and I collect them in all different shapes. And there's 2 or 3 that I love to put on my massage routine. One is like a long shape. This is a quartz, and I may use that here. I know they sell all kinds of tools for this. I don't think we need to go to that extreme. If you have a special tool that has the perfect shape for this, you can definitely use it. But I like to use what I connect with, and I connect more with my Lemurian crystal than I do with my, who knows where it's coming from, Gua thing from the mainstream market. So I source my crystals really carefully, and then I like to use them in different ways. And this is one way, okay? So this is a long crystal that has a very beautiful shape for this, because it's perfect. It's the size of my face, the size of my forehead. Yes, it's almost like a gua sha. I'm using the gua sha motions, but I'm using my charged crystal that I love to work with, okay? Now, other than this, there's lovely round-shaped crystals like this. This is a jasper, and the jasper is a beautiful, playful rock. So with the jasper, what I do is I just pretend I'm like washing, stimulating circulation. Sometimes I may just lean on it. Use it to smooth out, and not only use the super smooth surface of the crystal, but also the properties of it. The properties of the rock you use. And on that note, we're gonna maybe use this more in the neck, but on that note, I wanna show you, boy, it feels much different after the crystal, that if you have something that you like to work with crystal-wise, and I know we're going on a tangent, but some of you may be into crystals, this is labradorite, this is lapis. So I would take something like this after the massage and just place it. And just place it. If I'm lying down after this, if this is after a shower, I'm about to go to bed, I might place it and leave it there for a little bit. I may place it and leave it here for a little bit. I may hold it in my hand. Can't hurt. Same with this one, little lapis for the vision. Yeah, for clearer vision. Okay, so this is the shape of these ones are perfect for pressure points. So why do we use rocks? When I give sessions one-on-one, which I do here in Pennsylvania, I use rocks, hot stones. They feel amazing, but they also save my thumbs and hands when I do pressure points, right? When I want to smooth things out and create acupressure points. So the rocks work the same way on your body, except they have to be a little smaller sometimes. So this one is perfect for here, is perfect for here, and it's really good for all these areas where there's a lot of tension and tightness. And with the rock, I can feel how it's ironing it, smoothing it, and otherwise I would have to put a lot of pressure with my fingers. And I want to save my hands in the long run. All right, dear ones, thank you so much. I'm going to answer the questions. Write the names of the crystals. Oh, sure. Jasper, thank you, Lorette, for writing it down. Thank you, Lee, for your donation. Yay, appreciate it. What else did I use? I used a crystal. That was quartz. I'm going to write that down. Lemurian is even better. And then what else did I use? Labradorite. But lapis lazuli. But here, for me, when it comes to self-care, it's not about get this or get that or go get the fancy this or go out of your way to find that. It's see what you are attracted to, see what comes your way, what is easy to find, and that would be most likely the best for you. I don't know if you are familiar with water research, but I was recently listening to Veda Austin, and she is wonderful. And she talks about everybody's asking her what is the best water to drink. And she says it's the water that comes your way. It's the water that is nearby, that is in your spring, that is close to you. And I have the same approach. Otherwise, we would all have to go out of your way to get. It's like they say the herbs that grow in your garden, in your backyard, probably are the best for your system. And I've seen that over and over again. Okay, so we're gonna move now into the neck. And I have done a lot with the back of the neck and the base of the skull. So again, I send you to my website for that. It's part of a self-massage masterclass that I give for free on my website. I wanna work today with the front of the neck because it's more connected to the jaw and because it's rare, it's unusual. So again, I'm taking, let's say, like a quarter size or less bit of oil, making my hands, again, the medium, the tool, nice and supple. And I'm gonna begin by putting the oil on the surface of the neck. Spreading it. And notice that I'm using two hands here. And throughout I did today. I'm not just using my dominant, I'm using both hands. So now, making sure the whole neck feels, oh yeah, this is what we're doing now. We're taking care of ourselves. Begin by creating this sense of length in the neck. One hand up and one hand down. Length. And yes, this might create some yawning. This might help you speak up. Now imagine the neck is connected all the way to the jaw and these attachments, and you want to smooth them out. So imagine they are like little fabric type insertions, right? You want to make sure there's nothing that feels tight or bumpy. And then down, all the way down, thinking of fibers long, all the way down to the upper ribs. The collarbone is here. It's like a necklace bone. You can touch it, hold it, and then the first rib is underneath it. So think that the neck is super used to crunching and shortening and tightening, and we're doing the opposite here. We're creating a lot of space. All the way to the shoulders, and we've done shoulder special a couple weeks ago, so I'm not gonna get in there, but you could definitely take this into the shoulders. And now here, grab a little bit of this soft part here. Grab if you can, grab and hold. Grab like that. Because there's a lot of work in this part here, this part of the shoulder. So if you can grab there and move maybe a little bit right and left, or circles, you're doing something which we call picking up the slack of the musculature. Grab and move the shoulder in circles. And you're gonna feel all kinds of tension underneath it. And then the other side, grab the top. Is this for some people that is really developed, really chubby, because it works a lot in holding our arms up against gravity. So grab it, hold it as if you're grabbing somebody's hand, and move the shoulder. Move the whole shoulder. And now you're releasing tension of the neck passively, indirectly, okay? Now you have that, and you can go back to this movement of length, length, length in the front, length through the ribs. And if this feels okay, if nothing hurts, go deeper. If it hurts, stop. But if it's not, go. Just a little deeper. Same thing, I have another one that is a little shorter, and I'm gonna use that here. And what I love about quartz is that because it's almost like a universal crystal, if you don't have any, go get a clear quartz. All the way to the chin. Okay. I know we didn't do this, but if you were to check your voice now, like you can hear it probably is a lot lower, because my larynx inside, the tubes inside, right, the vocal cords, the larynx, all this esophagus, all this, the organs, the cells, everything gets the benefit from the external work that we're doing. So you can probably hear my voice a little lower, something is more relaxed, even though I was just working from the outside. And you can maybe see the coloration of my skin a little more rosy, and that's all the circulation and the flow that we're creating, both at the blood flow and the lymph, everything is moving. So, okay, so let's go next to the scalp. Imagine the scalp is what is connecting your whole skin, right? The skin is the longest organ, the biggest organ, I think, is if we were to spread it, it would take up so much space. Now think of you being able to hold onto your scalp at the base, in the back, at the base of the skull. There's a ridge. There's called the occipital bone, and there's a ridge, so you can hold both thumbs there, and then place the other fingers as if you were wearing some sort of cap. Anywhere that feels good. And I'm holding there as I'm reading the chat because there's two good questions coming up. Thank you guys. Would I recommend cleansing and charging them before I use them? Every time before, for sure, but after, definitely. After you use them, some of them can be cleansed under running water. Some of them you can cleanse with smoke, like sage smoke. Some of them you can cleanse with, or most of them you could cleanse with imagining them under violet light. But yeah, definitely charging, cleansing them is recommended. So now I have my fingertips on the skull. I'm grabbing the occipital bone at the lower base of the base of the skull, and I'm having my other fingers. And now around, just anywhere that feels like a good grip for you. And now I'm noticing tension on my shoulders, so I'm relaxing my shoulders as much as I can. And now I'm beginning to also create circular motion. This is very well done for you if you're seated comfortably with your spine long. And now notice my mouth continues to be relaxed, my jaw, my face, my eyes, because we started with the jaw and we want to continue adding layers of relaxation. Now I'm bringing my whole the weight of my head on my hands, and I'm moving my hands to the back. Kind of like when you cross your fingers and you're chilling, like that position, but it's the fingertips there. And simply allowing my neck. If this is too heavy for you, the head is about 12-14 pounds. If this is too heavy, you can recline on the chair. The idea is that your neck and jaw relax their weight onto your own hands, and from that level of support and trust and relaxation, you do little circles. The circles always release. So if you don't know what to do, I don't want you to have to think about techniques and directions, because who has the mindset for that? When you're wanting to relax, you want to just know what to do, right? So think circles, think support and circles to release, and then length. Okay, so once I got to the releasing point, I'm lengthening the neck, creating just a little bit of traction. And I don't know that you could see this from the back because of the color of my hair, but I'm gonna try tying my hair and showing you. So here is the support position, occipital, fingers and circles, and then I'm creating length. Simple lifting motion with your fingers as if you're pulling up, and that creates a little bit of traction and length. And we have length in the front and length in the back and length through the sides. Now finally, behind the ears. You guys are helping each other in the chat. I love that. Yeah, heart came out of my hair. I don't know why. This is some fancy like effects from the Inside developers. I did a couple things today where I got like hearts all over my face. I don't know why. Never happened before. So I want to show you one more place, guys, after the neck, because before it's like, okay, where to start, it doesn't quite matter, right? You can start from the head, you can start from the jaw, you can start from the forehead, whatever you feel most curious about. But in this case today, we started from the jaw, we went up towards the forehead, right? We covered the temples, the neck, front, back. Now we came to the scalp, and I'm realizing, wait, but my ears and the space behind the ears, that unless you have a surgery or something, some people that have their face done, you can't touch there because it's sensitive. But if you can, get behind the ears and also smooth that out, because that's another place where there's tenderness and tightness and attachments to the jaw and the front of the ear. Okay, that area could also be tender, so be gentle. And then the whole ear massage it. And the ear is magical. It has a lot of acupressure points. The ear, they use this thing called seeds in acupuncture, where you press it there and you affect different organs. So all the way, and I'm going to take off my earring on the side, actually both, so you can see even the earlobes. Pull on the earlobes and press on the earlobes. Remove your earrings and press on the earlobes. And if you feel some days, unless you have a habitual way, or like some people touch the ear all the time, but if you feel some days that you want to press on the ears, go ahead, because your body knows something that you could be using there. And sometimes you will feel a lot more energized after you do this. So be aware that if what you want is relaxing and sleeping, don't do too much of the ears. Now leave that alone. Feel the difference. It's okay. Hold on, let me see the chat. I think it is on the word love, but you said length. I don't know. Maybe if I say love, I get the hearts. I don't know. Teeter, I just got piercings. Can that affect my head and neck area? I have not experienced piercings, so I cannot speak to that. No idea. Sorry about that, honey. Never had any piercings done. Howard, right at the base of the nostril towards the outside, you can massage. Oh, perfect. Loretti's answering a previous question. To open the passages of the nose, my favorite tool is a neti pot. Neti, N-E-T-I pot. Humidifiers, but movement-wise, yeah, circular movements, spreading the passages. I would say different breathing practices. There's some on my teacher's page if you want to try different breathing practices and see if that helps you. Pranayama, where you push on one, breathe in with one nostril, close it, breathe out with the other one, breathe in with the same one, close it, breathe out with this one. Equalizing the nostrils kind of thing. My ears are glowing. Yes! Okay, so I told you, right? It could be energizing because there's a lot of, like I said, acupressure points, energy points in the ears, same as the hands and the feet. So use that if you want to bring balance and energy to yourself. When I do this, I get the heart. Let's see. Ah, there it is. Thank you guys, that was so cute. I love that. I didn't know that. That's kind of sweet. All right, let's all do it together. If you like the massage, if you like this session, let's all do it and we'll get a big heart all over. Yes. That's funny. Okay, what else is in the chat? Questions are welcome right now. We're done. We're done with the technique because I want to apply this and I want to repeat what I said earlier, which is, if you were here from the beginning, look at how much more joy and energy I have right now compared to when I started, right? Because I wasn't feeling that charged today. I was like, oh, more introspective today. I don't know if I want to do the sharing today, but I show up because I show up. That's what I do. I share, I show up, I give, I teach. That's my passion, that's my mission. And I was saying that part of the lesson for me today was, even those days when you don't feel like it is when you probably need it the most, both the giving to yourself and perhaps the sharing. So I was saying, maybe the lesson for me today is to show up to yourself and give and practice, even if you're not truly feeling like it. Maybe your body knows that that's what you need. So I wanted to share that. And I want to ask you for comments right now, questions. If you have a donation that you can offer, that would be amazing. It helps my work tremendously because I do process this. I capture the screen, I edit it, and then I put it on YouTube so more people can enjoy it. And it's all free content and it's all given with a lot of love. But definitely the donations help a lot. So if you can, I appreciate them. And I want to read questions. Hold on. How would I compare self-massage versus someone else doing it for us? That is such a great question, Kira. Okay, so somebody doing it for you gives you the chance to completely relax and trust and receive, which is much needed. And I love when people come for massages weekly, sometimes in my practice, or when I go and get body work myself. What is the difference between that and giving it to yourself is, for one, you could not experience from anyone else the quality of touch that you give yourself. No one knows, and this is a statement that I firmly believe, no one knows how do you like to be touched better than yourself. And no one knows what you need better than yourself. Even if you have the deepest trust with somebody, or they know you, or that you work with them for years, it's a different quality. And I feel strongly that in times like this, where there's so much going on and so much need for our attention to be pulled out, to be, outward facing and consuming things outside, responding, reacting, observing, worrying, or holding compassion, understanding, however it is, a lot of our attention is put out. I feel that it's super important to also put our attention within. And self-massage in this case is no different than meditation, contemplation, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, nourishing yourself in any way, eating, sleeping, right? So in that sense, it's very different and complementary to somebody giving you a massage. I wouldn't say one can substitute the other. It's perhaps less known and much needed because you can take a fractal of this, say one tiny movement, and do it during the day and create a ripple effect of change for you in that moment. And you don't have to book anyone, go anywhere, take an hour. It's a micro dose of self-love and self-care that you can do anywhere, anytime. So in that sense, I feel that it's amazing and much needed. Let's see if there's more questions. So much tension, feeling relief. Yes, I love that. Tess, I said if this ear massage for you is energizing and you want to do this before bed to calm down, then don't do too much of it. Just know the effect that it has on you. It would be like doing very hard exercise in the evenings. We don't recommend that. We recommend light exercise in the evenings, because if you do a lot of cardio and you build muscle, your body will take a couple hours to process and recover from that, and that's when you want to wind down, go to bed. So just know the effects that the movements have on you, and know what you need. If you need it super relaxing, calming massage, do something less energizing. Let's see what else. Tension with, yeah, if you want to do something for sleep, I would recommend something more with the hands, with your feet. That will be more relaxing to sleep. Thank you. You're welcome, guys. Thank you so much. Howard, that's okay. Anytime is welcomed. I think it's better to donate in your profile. Okay. Whatever you like, guys. Whatever feels right. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Yes. Susanna is saying it's better to donate in my profile. I don't know what is the difference. I just know that it's okay to to mention this. We're encouraged to mention this, and to receive the support is great. What else is on the chat? I'm adding, Danielle says, thank you for the class. I'm adding a lot of this to my morning self-massage ritual. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate that. I love that you have a self-massage ritual routine. Totally relaxed for the evening. Yes, thank you, Anders. Yeah, the scalp has so many pressure points that instead of you living with this idea that there's a special place and you're not sure if I'm right on it or not, look for your places. There's places where you just hold there, Anders, and you will feel literally release on your neck happens, right? So this is more the scalp idea. You can go in circles everywhere. It's gonna feel fantastic. But if you're curious about pressure points for you, particularly, play with it. Imagine you can put from each of your fingers energy into it as if they were, say, electrodes, right? And you were measuring something, or you were inputting something, and press intently with that effect in mind, and see what happens after a little bit. When I do it again, a lot of these practices, I didn't go anywhere to learn. I translated what works best in hundreds of people, thousands of people that I work with in my career so far, and I apply them to myself and saw that it works on my feet, on my neck, on my shoulders, things I've shared with you before. So same for the scalp. When I work with somebody on my table and I put my fingers on their head like this, I can feel the pulsing of the energy, kind of like those, if you've seen those balls, I forget their name, where you put your finger and you see the impulse, the electric impulse inside. You can see it. So think of us as electromagnetic beings and these two waves, and you could create a point of contact with your fingers, and the same as if you could feel it between finger and finger, between hands and hands, like I've shown you in other classes. You could feel it between your own hands and your own body, especially when there's contact. So when you press in different parts of your head, you might feel that. And then if there's release in that area, not only you will feel it locally, but it will move through the nervous system, throughout your whole body. So play with it, experiment, and see what feels the best. Yeah, definitely the base of the skull, the temples, the top of the head where there's this soft area when you were babies, but it's still hard, but it's let's say where the top of the spine would come up. If you had a longer spine, it would come through here. So imagine that, press on it, see what it feels like. Okay, more questions. Thank you. Self-massage is something that you never consider. I agree with you. It's not something you see often. I think the risk is to overdo it with our hands. That's why I'm bringing different tools like the stones and the holding and using bone touch, right? Using the fingers to the bone and not always just dig. I don't know if you've ever tried giving somebody a massage. You didn't know what you were doing and you were just pushing and pressing and you got tired really quickly. So that's what we don't want. We don't want to create strain on the hands to give ourselves a supportive massage, right? So it's part of it is using your hands efficiently and going for different layers. And that begins with asking yourself, what do you need today? Do you need to release specific tension of an area that is tight, or do you just need the holding and that's enough and that makes you feel great, or do you need the length? Yes, so all these different layers are there. Oh, that's a good question, Erica. I did not think of that except to be gentle with this area where the thyroid is, but how to adjust it, I don't know much about that. And I will always tell you, if I don't know something, I will always say that instead of making something up. So let's look it up. If you have low thyroid and this is a tender area for you, look it up. Maybe don't go too deep in there, and support it more from outside, from a non-local area, and see if that works. Kirsten says, I also felt a bit down today and came to this class anyways and feels a lot better. Oh, thank you. See, that's beautiful, Kirsten, because you had the same impulse. Let's connect and be together, even though I don't feel like 100% I would do it. And now we both feel better. Let's see. Love this, thank you. The self-massage, definitely. Head and neck gives you an arm workout. That is true, and it's a funny point that we don't necessarily want to hold a lot of effort on the arms, but you end up developing more arm muscle and hand grip and everything. That is true. You always want to balance it out, not overdo it and then have arm pain, right? But see how much softer everything feels. Great. Deep lines in the neck is best to move down or up. Oh, Rachel, that's a really good point. So a lot of times the deep lines in the neck tell me when I'm working with people that you tend to crunch or you tend to lift your shoulders a lot. So I would say think of the weight of the head and the shoulders and how they are. The neck is in the middle, but you can affect more change in the neck itself. These deep lines telling you that you're holding a lot of weight with the thin, fragile muscles of the neck compared with the 12 pounds of weight of the head. If you can lengthen by lifting your eyes, lowering your shoulders, maybe doing some Feldenkrais classes, you're welcome to on my page, on my website, on my YouTube channel. So you lengthen by improving that postural alignment. And then of course I will go up in the direction away from gravity, because a lot of times that short neck with a lot of lines is telling me that it's contracted, that is compressed. So if that's your case, definitely do shoulder circles, realign your shoulders, bring them back to this triangle of sorts where they're hanging, they're not lifted, and let your head be long, free at the top of the spine and not forward, not folded. Yeah, that's a whole different kind of lessons, but I do have them on my website too, because I notice a lot of times we are not, I've shown this before, but just think of the concept of we hold these phones all day, right? And we're not lifting the device at the level of our eyes to keep our head elevated. We bring the head down with the thing, phone, tablet, book, and then the neck is the one heavy lifting those 12 pounds, 14 pounds of the head weight, right? So we tend to engage the shoulders to help out, to help the neck, because the neck is not designed to hold so much weight. So some of that challenge is resolved by lifting whatever you're holding at the level of your eyes, and that includes your computer, your books, putting pillows under the books, lifting, holding, putting your arms against the chest and holding the phone if you're looking at it for long periods of time, or see that I move my phone now but I didn't move my head, right? So I'm moving my eyes down, can you see, but not the head. So that's another little tip that maybe you can use and makes it easier for you to avoid all that neck compression. Lastly, what else? How about deep lines in the front of the neck? Oh, Kira, same idea, right? All that compression is giving you all the lines. And they say you can tell somebody's age by how their neck looks. That is not true. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm 49, I just turned 49. My neck doesn't show 49, but that's not because I cover it and I don't, I don't let the sun shine on it or whatever. It's because I have been a Feldenkrais practitioner for over 20 years, which means that I've paid close attention to the position of my head over my shoulders. So I don't do this. So that's what I'm teaching you to do. definitely you can do lines. You can do lines. But this is supportive. This is almost helping. I don't want to say a band-aid because it's way more than a band-aid, but the root cause is the shrinking. The root cause is the flexion and the collapse of your head. So you will have much more success with these movements and the lengthening that I show you and all this if you are able to keep your head above the spine, floating, lifting your phones to the gaze of the level of your gaze. And then this will be much more effective, because if you do this but then all day you're doing that, can you imagine the lines come back, because the lines are being held all day long by the pressure of gravity plus you looking down and shrinking and all that. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I don't want to be rude. I want to say let's look at the root cause, and then all this lovely support is phenomenal, and it will last a lot longer if you adapt your environment to support your goals. My jaws are dropping a lot, getting older, but also think I have been frowning too much. If I can show which one again, I don't know which one. This one, the frowning one? Is that the one? Say yes if it is, because I don't know which one you're referring to, but I like your name, Sonrisa. I want to help out. Anything else, guys? I have a next live for jaws. Oh, you're welcome. That took a long time to share, so I don't think I can share that again, but look up. Okay, so this is how you can reconnect. Follow the page, go to my website, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and then when this session is published, which will be midweek, I hope, then you can see it again, because we devoted at least 10 minutes to the jaw at the very beginning of the session, and we're past the hour, so I don't think I can do it again. I'm sorry. But yeah, the jaws are crucial for to bring the whole face into the self-image. This is how you're doing actually. You're creating a bigger image, a more refined, improved image of yourself when you do these movements. You're creating more awareness. It's almost like you're a painter and now you discover a new landscape. So some areas take a little less time because they're smaller to map. The jaw is connected to so much that it takes a while. Thank you. You're welcome so much. I wanted to say last things before we leave. Follow the page if you haven't, please. Bring a friend, share the love with somebody that you know this could help. And also next week, I planned on something different. I don't know if you've been to it, but I love Rumi the poet. I have some Rumi recordings, poems on my page that you can listen to. I get reviews about them pretty much every day. People love them, people love Rumi. So I figured, why don't we celebrate Rumi, which is a beloved poet and artist, and I think he's a divinity expander. If you think of people as lights and they light you up with their presence and they bring something in you that you already have in you, but they reflect it in you and you go, oh wow, that person reminds me of something, and it's the true light in you. Rumi is one of those. So I created a live session for next Saturday. I want to invite you to. Same time. We're going to read poems from Rumi. We're going to work with some cards from an oracle that a lovely artist created based on Rumi's poetry. And built in is this concept that there's divinity in each of us, and that as we recognize our divinity and celebrate it by sharing it, we simply create more awareness of it. We knowing that we have a fractal of God in each of us. And if we move like that and share like that and be present to that, our life inevitably gets better. And so do the lives of everyone we touch with our presence. So that's the invitation for next week, and it will be a first time that I read poems live, his poems live. And I intend to record them with my good microphone, and then as they get recorded, to post them on my page so more poems can be shared. And if you haven't listened to those poems I recommend you go and take a listen. They were the first things I shared on Insight Timer. I used to have to record them in the basement of my old house when my kids were sleeping, because that was the only time where I had pure silence in the house, and I had this tiny microphone. The conditions were awful, but there was so much love in my heart for those poems that they've gained so much good attention, and they really reflect that when you have a good intention, it doesn't matter if you have a bad microphone, it'll come through. The love in your heart will come through. Okay. I love that. Oh, Sonrisa, you're so funny. I know what that means because I'm Hispanic. I know what your name means. All right, guys. Anything else in your mind before we wrap up? Otherwise, I want to bow to you and say thank you. This has been a wonderful session. You lifted my spirit today because I was feeling a little bit low energy, and it's always coming together in community that does the trick. So I will remember that for next time. I invite you back. Have a blessed day, a beautiful weekend, and receive all the love that I have in my heart for you, for your presence here, your participation, and your commitment to knowing how to take better care of yourself every single time that we get together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah. Thank you, guys. Love you, and see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.